Hi guys, what's up? Today we're talking about aperture. So what is aperture? Aperture is basically a hole in which light travels through on your lens. So this decides how much light is going through the lens and hitting the sensor inside the camera. Now there's different levels to this, and these are set up as numbers. So you'll have f1.8, f2, f2.8 and so on and so forth. Now the way this scale works is a little bit weird and it can sometimes twist your head a little bit. Basically it works in reverse. So f16 for example would be like this, much darker. And say f1.8 would be like this. So basically what it means is that the higher the f-stop is, the darker or more closed that the iris is. So the iris in your camera lens is made up of circular metal blades, and the higher the f-stop, the smaller these become, or the tighter the space that they compress. So this creates less of a hole for the light to travel through. Now this is also what causes your depth of field effect. So the lower your f-stop number, so f-stop 1.8, will have a much more shallow depth of field, meaning you're getting that bokeh effect, or as some may call it, as the cinematic effect. You often see when people are working outside is that we'll often crank their f-stop to the maximum, obviously because the sunlight is extremely bright, and they don't want to let that much light into the camera image because it's just going to blow everything out and the footage is going to be unusable. So an alternative to this for shooting outside in the daytime or even in bright conditions is by using an ND filter. An ND filter is basically a pair of sunglasses for your camera lens, and what this means you can do is that you can open up the iris and you can get a nice good shallow depth of field without having the whole image blown out, because the ND filter is already reducing the amount of light that's coming into the camera. And on the flip side, if people are in a dark environment or an environment with not much lighting, that they will lower their f-stop down to the lowest possible setting to let in as much light as possible, because the more light that's getting through the iris and hitting the camera sensor, the better the image is going to be. So guys, I hope that hasn't confused you too much. The best way to remember it is that the higher the f-stop number, like f16, means that there's less light getting into the camera, which means more stuff is in focus. And the lower the f-stop number, say 1.8 for example, means that more light is being let into the camera, meaning that you have a shallower depth of field, and that's where you'll get something that some people may class as, say, the cinematic effect. So you're basically getting more bokeh in the image and more stuff is in and out of focus. So I hope that's rounded it up for you out there. If you did have any doubts on what it might be or didn't fully understand it, if you have enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Also check out all the socials as well, and I'll see you next time.